Is there a prohibition of listening to recorded music during Sefirat Ha-Omer? A lot of people are talking about that today. I want to discuss now briefly is the fact that it's not clear that there is such a prohibition, and that will explain why there are different practices in the Jewish community. If you look in the Shulchan Aruch, he explicitly prohibits weddings during Sefirat Ha-Omer, but makes no mention of dancing or music. Only in the Magen Avraham does he explicitly prohibit rikudim u'macholot, festive dancing. And the question is, what's included in that category? Does it include music? Now, it's interesting to note that in some Sephardic poskim, they don't even mention the prohibition of rikudim u'macholot in their writings against festive dancing. But many do in the Sephardic and Ashkenazi communities. And the question is, well, what does that include? In the 17th, 18th, and 19th centuries, you don't see any mention of music in the writings. Only in the beginning of the 20th century in the Aruch HaShulchan, Rav Yechiel Michal Epstein asserts that it's obvious to him that the prohibition against rikudim macholot, festive dancing, also includes listening to music, kli zemer, musical instruments. Now, this might be obvious when it comes to live concerts, which can lend themselves or lead someone to doing dancing, but what about recorded music? Is that included in the prohibition as well? So many poskim think it is. In the writings of the Minchas Yitzchak, or Vadi Yosef, or Moshe Feinstein, and others, they say that recorded music is also prohibited. If that's the case, why did none of the poskim in previous centuries mention music? So they give a few different explanations. Some say it was implicit, some say maybe it didn't come up as much as musical instruments or as music in general wasn't as common, and others say that it was included in a general prohibition that comes up in the Gemara in the post-Chorban period, in the post-Temple period, which said that there's no music should be allowed at all, any time of the year. And while throughout the centuries there have been different practices with this, some say, like Rav Moshe Feinstein, Rav Yashiv, and others, that during the time period of mourning, we are going to be stringent on that custom, and therefore, while throughout the year we might allow music, certainly during Sefirat Ha-Omer we don't allow music, live music, and recorded music as well. And maybe there's a little bit of dispensations when it comes to background music and other types of scenarios like that, but in general, the rule of thumb is no music at all during Sefirat Ha-Omer. However, many poskim have said in more recent years that it's not obvious to them why this prohibition of music in general should be more stringent during the period of Sefirat Ha-Omer. The most strident of the poskim who made this point are Yahu Schlesinger of the Gilo neighborhood and a well-known author of many halachic works, and Rav Shlomo Duchovsky, one of the most important dayanim of this generation, who have basically asserted that if we don't find it in the text, and it's not so clear-cut why there should be such a prohibition against music during this period, then in fact the minhag is not to abstain from listening to music, and that music is permitted. Some allow music, classical music, relaxing music, elevator music, music while driving, and some simply say that all music is permitted. Other poskim would take this type of line, including Rav Yakim Lebanon, Rav Nochem Eliezer Rabinovich, Rav Mordechai Willig, and Rav Yuval Sherlo, who all say that there's no prohibition of listening to even recorded music during Sefirat Ha-Omer. Live concerts are a problem, but not recorded music. And the question becomes, well, why not be machmer? Why not be stringent? I think three reasons are given. One, we shouldn't conflate the mourning practices of real avela when a person is lost a loved one or for the loss of the temple during the 9 days with all other sad periods. Each period should be treated separately. Two, during Sefirat Ha-Omer, there's a special notion that maybe it should be also a time of happiness. This is the lead up, the countdown to Matan Torah, to the holiday of Shavuot. And in fact, it should be a celebratory time in some manner. And three, why not be machmer? Because music is very important to people, to their spiritual lives and to their emotional well-being as well. And therefore, there's no reason to be machmer, which is why you find in many communities, including my own home, where people listen to recorded music without any limitations during Sefirat Ha-Omer. I hope this explains some of the various practices that go on today, and particularly in this time period where many people are struggling with being stuck in their homes, there's greater room, I think, to be lenient even for those who are normally stringent to listen to music. But in general, one should note that there's really no clear prohibition against listening to music any year during Sefirat Ha-Omer.